Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Goretti and I'm the counselor at Butterfly Project. Happy New Year again to you guys. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful start to 2024. Hopefully this is a much better year for everybody. So this video, I just kind of wanted to touch on something that I did mention in the last video. If you haven't watched it, hopefully you do. But this is in regards to our health. Here's something that I've noticed after doing this for 13 years, with clients in my business. What I found is that in January, that tends to be like January, especially end of January and into February, I get so many new people coming to me asking for counseling, asking for help. And for the most part, a lot of them, I mean, there are some, kind of other issues like, maybe it's work trouble or relationships or things like that. But for the most part, it is things like mental health. It is depression, it's anxiety. And the reason is because in December, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, it's, there's a lot of chaos during that time. December, end of November, people preparing for Christmas. The roads are busier, the stores are busier. Maybe you can't find the things that you're looking for because, people are buying a lot more. There's a lot of, celebrations, there's gatherings, there's family, there's a lot of emotions and stuff that comes up, people during the holiday time of year. Maybe you're somebody that doesn't like Christmas and that bothers you, or maybe, you're someone that, lost a loved one, and so that's a hard time for you. Or you do celebrate and, you're running around, you're not sleeping, normally the way that you do or as much. Maybe you're not working out or taking care of your health or eating as healthy, typically, during that time. Maybe you're not, just really taking care of yourself, right? We tend to slack off on things, especially when it comes to our health. So sleep, exercise, healthy eating, and taking our vitamins, right? And the things that we need, especially in the Northern Hemisphere. You guys, I'm always harping on you guys about this, but vitamin D is so important. They don't, in Northern Hemisphere, they actually don't even test regularly. Like if you go for a regular checkup, they don't even test your vitamin D because they pretty much say everybody's deficient. Nobody's taking enough. Okay. So I'm not a doctor and I can't tell you what to take, but you guys can definitely talk to your doctor, or, find out the information on your own. But it is, if you're not taking vitamin D, you definitely have to. And if you are, unless you have issues with like medication that you can't take it. So you guys definitely check with your doctor first. But if you can take vitamin D, and if you're not taking it, you need to. And if you are taking it, you're probably not taking enough. Okay, so look into that. But so going back to in December and end of November, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, what happens is, maybe you're in a business, maybe you're in the retail business. I mean, that's really, really tough to be in during that time. Maybe you're in a school, right? Now we gotta like wind things down. There's like the Christmas concert and all these like different things going on. Maybe you work in an industry where your company shuts down for 2 weeks out of the year. Maybe you work for yourself and you want to take time off. Maybe your daycare closed for a couple weeks. That happened for me. So we're trying to like jam pack and compress a lot more work or clients in a shorter amount of time. So that usually means we're not giving ourselves enough time. We're not taking care of ourselves the way that we were before. And so we get run down. So a lot of people don't realize that in December, yes, it is cold and flu season, as well as, dealing with the pandemic. But it's not just that. It's actually a lot of it has to do with our immune systems because we've run ourselves down. Now we're a lot more susceptible to get sick. And so that's what tends to happen. The other thing too that happens is, so we're not taking care of ourselves, our mental health, kind of deteriorates, our physical health. And then throughout January, Most people jump into New Year's resolutions and things like that. And even if you don't, you're being affected by what, we kind of just went through, right? And so when that happens, in January, we start to kind of feel the effects of all of that. Drained, run down, your mental health kind of goes down. Maybe it's anxiety now because now there's like all this talk about like the new year and, planning for the new year and what do you want for the new year and clean slate and fresh start, and you don't want to mess it up, right? So there's all this pressure that can bring up a lot of anxiety. If you were somebody that celebrated lots of festivities, lots of time with, family and friends, and then all of a sudden in January, it's like radio silent, right? I know some people still, continue to celebrate, in January for different things, but a lot of times, people just feel kind of like the blues after all of that happens. So many different reasons for why people could be feeling things like depression and anxiety during this time that I find, but a lot of people struggle with it. And it could very well be, none of those other things except for like physiologically. Like it could be the fact that you're not taking, your vitamins, possibly, right? B12 is another big one. So you guys, I kind of went through something in December where normally doesn't happen. And I'm like, what is going on? And I realized that with the busyness, because my clients got really crazy busy because I had to try to compress everybody in before Christmas, and a lot of people wanted to come see me before Christmas. And then I'm trying to deal with, family life and other obligations and different things like that, and compressing a lot more people in a shorter amount of time. I found that I stopped, taking my vitamins. I stopped doing all that stuff. And then I realized, one day it just kind of dawned on me, wait a second, practice what you preach. You're not taking your vitamins. Especially I stopped taking, my vitamin D and B12, and I really need to take that consistently. So, and not to mention, sick kids and having to take care of them and all this kind of stuff, I didn't even realize that I had done it. So you guys, I'm not perfect. I always tell you guys this. Nobody's perfect. I definitely am not. I do try to practice what I preach. And so, yeah, as soon as I figured it out, I went and I restocked up on, all of my vitamins, especially vitamin D and B12, and started taking those, started to get more sleep, started to, eat a little bit healthier, slow and steady, right? Doing all these things, not like overnight, but definitely the vitamins had to be like an overnight thing, because it takes a minimum of 3 weeks to kind of build up in your system, more like 6 weeks. So this is also another reason why people with seasonal depression really struggle. I always tell people like September, it's like clockwork. That's like my Christmas season, in counseling. A lot of therapists will talk about that. And the reason is because people have had all this, vitamin D naturally from the sun, but then they don't realize that you're supposed to start taking, supplementing if you are in the Northern Hemisphere before fall comes, before the winter. And I'm not saying that that's the only reason why people struggle with depression and anxiety. Of course, there are a lot of other reasons, but a lot of times, and part of what I help clients with, it's not just dealing with, the mental part of it and the emotional part of it. It's also the physiological part. We do, go into, health, physical health, right? Nutrition, vitamins, those kinds of things, because that is something that really does affect your mental health. People don't realize that. It's not just your physical health, it's also your mental health. So that's kind of what the topic of this whole video was about. Hopefully my message came across clearly, just to let you guys know that this is a time of year that yeah, depression sets in, anxiety, especially if you are susceptible to that. You know, the blues after, you know, all the festivities, if you don't normally struggle with, you know, low moods or anything, could be low moods as well, because of possibly, you know, not having that sunlight, the vitamin D. Now it's been a while, right? A couple of months of like the extra darkness, that sort of thing. And also because our bodies naturally want to hibernate during this time. Okay, so a lot of us want to go into hermit mode, especially, you know, after all the busyness of, you know, December and the holiday season. So yeah, so you guys, what I want you guys to do is really prioritize yourself. Prioritize your health, mental health, physical health, emotional health. Okay, so hopefully you guys are really focused on that. And you know, please don't forget to hit the like button, comment down below, share this video with anybody that you think it might be helpful for. As well, subscribe to my channel if you're new here. I would absolutely love to have you here as part of this ever-growing butterfly community, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos when I post them. And you guys, when you do any of these things or all of these things, truly it is the best way to help me and support my channel, help my channel to grow. Because that's why I do this. I absolutely love helping people and trying really hard, putting out this, you know, free content to help as many people as I possibly can, because it is what I am passionate about. All right, my loves. So thanks so much for being here. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful start to 2024. And as always, I wish you all peace, love, and light. Until next time. Bye-bye.